Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you guys are all having a great week so far. I'm Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yeah, looking good still. Price action managing to hold within this resistance zone. Obviously we're on a 4-hour 9, so yeah, I mean we could potentially get rejected now after basically properly testing just above this resistance zone. But obviously that doesn't have to happen. We could just trade sideways, consolidate a little bit, and then obviously you guys kind of know how I view these nines. Once you close a candle above that 9, you basically invalidate that candle, and then you usually just get an acceleration to the upside once the market kind of knows, okay, so we're not selling off from this 9. But yeah, obviously we are only 20 minutes into this 4-hour 9 candle, so plenty of time for this to come down, or even obviously spike up into this area and then get rejected and come back down, as you often can get acceleration into the 9 candle. So obviously with this being a sell 9, the acceleration would be to the upside and then a rejection, and then basically that be the top. So obviously that doesn't necessarily have to happen. We could just trade sideways as we have been the last few 4-hour candles. Print basically a 9 candle like this, and then trade the next one above it, and then actually get our acceleration into this zone and basically towards 60k. But obviously all in all, if Bitcoin has been able to hold itself within this resistance zone quite nicely, then that is clearly a sign of strength. And is this going to be the low? Is this going to be the next higher low? Obviously, as you can just see from the trend, is a higher low than we could potentially expected, which is also clearly bullish. So I mean, things are potentially are looking good here. Obviously weekend soon, but we still got this full trading day, so there's no problems there. But yeah, obviously price action, Bitcoin being held up here for a higher low than we maybe could have expected. Price action being able to hold in this resistance zone quite well so far. Yeah, I mean we could be looking at a nice move to the upside. I have been saying that price action is clearly looking bearish, but at present it's starting to shift more towards bullish now, and we could potentially draw in because we like drawing these patterns in dirt. We could potentially draw in a descending broadening wedge, and we all know how they are predicted to play out, with basically a move to when they break above the top side, a pretty much a decent move to the upside. So yeah, is that what is playing out? Obviously you can see the top side pretty much just coincide with top of our resistance zone and where price action relatively is now. So we could be on the cusp of a breakout. Obviously again, our levels are quite easily defined. We've got below 57.5, and then if we are going to basically come down lower than here, obviously we've got this low of 55.5. Take that out, and then we will pretty much, I think, be looking at, I think it would be most likely we'll head down to into the 52Ks, and then obviously to the upside, pretty much close to where we are. Basically close some more candles above, well, we haven't actually closed any recently, but close some candles above 58.5. And yeah, we would be looking very good. You wouldn't want to necessarily be selling Bitcoin into that move, and I believe that would be how the market would view it on the whole, and that would obviously precipitate upwards price action. So yeah, let's have a look at some other things. Ethereum, Bitcoin as well, similarly. On 4-hour 9, you can see how the last 4-hour 9 played out. Pretty much didn't really go much higher than that candle. 4-hour 9 held us up a bit there. So yeah, 4-hour 9, are we going to get a bit of sideways to down here? We could potentially do that. I mean, if Bitcoin looks like we're going to have a nice break to the upside, even if it's only a couple of $1,000, that could certainly put the dampeners on this, maybe get us down to test this horizontal again before maybe Bitcoin stabilizes. Starts to trade sideways within this 58.5 to 60k zone, at which point then we would potentially expect Ethereum then to have a nice move. Ethereum and Satoshi pairing have a nice move to the upside. Yeah, again also 4 hour 9 again on the on Ethereum here and USD pairing. You can see we got one here as well. But yeah, 4 hour 9. So we're going to play some sideways to down. Are we going to come and back test this this horizontal about 2050? We very, very nicely came and back tested that exact level there. That just looks great. Looks great for a chart perspective. Forward check, back check, and are we on the paycheck? Because this will be obviously be a pretty significant paycheck move. Yeah, deep. Basically mid 2000s, mid 2Ks, I would say realistically. But yeah, obviously we've got to deal with this 409. We've got to get above these highs. I mean, where would we draw that? Where would we draw it? Yeah, we'll pretty much draw it in here, because obviously we've not really had many candle closures above there. So candle closures above here, which is basically, well, what is it? 21. We'll move it up a little bit because we just don't like the number 13. Bit unlucky. Yeah, there we go. 21,115. Close a 4 hour candle above there, and then yeah, I think that will be it. That'll be the move that could potentially trigger us pretty sharpish to the upside. Pretty sharpish to the upside. But yeah, so obviously it's all looking good. All markets are looking a lot better here, as in all markets. I mean, the Ethereum, US dollar, Ethereum, Satoshi, and Bitcoin. Albeit we're all sat on 4R9. So yeah, potentially some sideways to maybe even down. If we're going to reverse, we're going to do it here. We're at that inflection point, as we always seem to be. So yeah, let's have a quick look at stock markets. Look at them absolutely going for it. I mean, this looks like it's gonna have to make a go at this 1.618. How's Nasdaq doing? Our laggard doing? Well, there we have it. This is why we got this up. Nasdaq, as you can see, we had this important horizontal, and then once we basically, you can see we closed just above it, got up to it, then accelerated to the upside, which is pretty textbook. We're now approaching obviously that high here. And yeah, there we go. I mean, there we have descending broadening wedge, forward check, well, we tested it a few times, but yeah, Nasdaq finally getting a move back onto those highs. Dow looking good. Annotations don't want to, maybe we just didn't annotate it that much. The Russell, yeah, Russell's been a bit more, as you can see, a bit more difficult to chart. But yeah, I mean, Russell's still off its high as well. Not necessarily a good sign for a broadening of a rally, because not so obviously. There you go. We're not getting this rallying up as much as we are getting the S&P and the Nasdaq. It did go on a run more initially though. Let's have a look at good old gold. Gold, it's not even gold, is it? Silver. As you can see, silver did come off that 4 hour 9 a bit. I would suggest it's going to come and back test this downward sloping trend line and this horizontal, and have a good chance of bouncing there, getting back into the zone. And yeah, I mean, potentially this is looking good for a low to me, and an attempt to reverse this downward trend and make some nice moves to the upside. 10-year, as you can see, still hovering around. Gold, as you can see, gold did finally come and tap that level. We were looking at a very high probability trade into this zone, got almost there, came back basically, double bottomed. Pretty much we could call it a front run of this level. Maybe I just got this level. I won't have this level in wrong, but obviously maybe we just got front run side. Don't forget, lots of people want to get into gold. I mean, actually, yeah, looking at it here, we could very easily, I'm not going to make it look like we've met those prices, but you could very easily have moved this up a little bit, the highs, the widths, the lows. Yeah, we could have done. So maybe we did hit the perfect horizontal level twice. We are now into this zone, selling off this zone a little bit, but with this being a second attempt, and the second attempt of trying to break the lows and not making it, the second attempt up here, obviously you got to lean on the side of we'll break through. In much the case when we came down here, you had to kind of say there was a good chance we would break through on the basis that we bounced, came back down, but we didn't. So we've now bounced off this, come back up, and now looking to potentially take out 4-hour-9 there as well. As you can see, this was a 4-hour-9 as well, bounced off there as well. So yeah, gold looking good, gold looking good. Gold looking good, basically. Bitcoin dominance, we'll have a glance at it. As you can see, still coming down. This is the daily. You want to look at the 4-hour. I mean, basically, practically fully retraced that bounce we got. We got off the 4-hour-9, and then clearly another 4-hour-9 printed now. So maybe Bitcoin is going to have that bounce to the upside. Yeah, 4-hour-9 there, held price up a little bit, as you can see. DXY. DXY looking even more increasingly like we have basically put in a medium-term high here now at this level. Yeah, I mean, people are going to start looking at this as we've had, as basically start selling again. I think that basically everyone was short here. The whole market sentiment was short, so they just got squeezed. Have they been squeezed enough? That is for the dollar a pretty, I mean, if we just get a rough figure, a rough amount, yeah, nearly a 4.5% move is a big move in a currency. That is a big squeeze. That is a big squeeze in everybody that was maybe aggressively shorting this. Now, are we ready to come back down? Potentially we are. So, yeah, over to Bitcoin. Look at the stochastics. The main thing we need is this daily to switch up. So we will see. We'll go through the other time frames. I mean, 4-hour looking good. Got a room to run. At 10-hour and 12-hour, I assume are going to be looking good. And then it will come down to what the daily is doing. So let's all see this together. In fact, 10-hour did turn back down again, and is now coming up from a lower level. So yeah, 10-hour getting going could be good for us. 12-hour looking to turn back up, and the all-important daily, yeah, still got a bit of a kink, still pointing down, but I mean, if this 10-hour and 12-hour now start to turn up, basically, which you would expect would happen with price action staying at least in this zone or higher, then yeah, I think we're going to look good for acceleration here, and then realistically we're looking at 60k, 62k. We're looking at this zone, this level, this range here. Maybe we just get an absolute shoot to the moon straight upwards, but I would not necessarily think that's the most likely option. I think we'd consolidate above this level a bit, and then before we then make a real move to the upside. Maybe that will coincide with the dollar finally making a sharp move to the downside once people realize, okay, the squeeze is over now, let's put our shorts back on. So yeah, interesting trading day ahead with all the 4-hour 9s. Weekend coming up, which is always interesting so far as the shenanigans that go on in the markets. But yeah, market has had a bearish posture, and that is definitely starting to switch here. To a more of a I'll call it a less bearish posture. Still not out of the woods. The 4-hour 9s are my main concerns at the moment. Invalidate those, break through those, get this 10-12 hour daily stochastics trending upwards, and the daily turned upwards, then I think it'd be a high probability trade for us to probably come and test the 62k highs again, 62k. So yeah, that is it, guys. Thank you for listening. I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.